it's the best thing when you show up on set and you recognize a few people, like, the sound guy, one of the ADs, a couple of the other actors, and you start to feel like family, and you start to feel that nostalgic feeling of like movie camp versus when you walk onto a giant set and everyone's a stranger and you never met everyone. That's a little, this is like pretty intense. But it's great to meet people. So also casting directors, there's a way to reach out as regular human beings to other casting directors, directors, producers. One of my favorite things online is just tagging people when I see other opportunities that fit them, whether they're actors or crew. If I see someone looking for a makeup artist or a hair and makeup artist, I'll tag my hair and makeup artist friends.
Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go.
We're podcasting. We're casting pods. Here we are.
Yeah.
Putting them out. Cast some pods. Who needs them? Who's selling? Who wants pods? Who wants pods? Get here.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is episode 105.
Yes, 105.
5. Wow, look at this. What a life this podcast has had. Welcome. How you doing, BK? You just came from a rehearsal. Quite a showbiz day.
I did. I've been running around today. I had a callback this morning, which went very well. And then I went to rehearsal right after that. And now I am here podcasting. And then I will be running a session after this.
With one of our regulars, Adam Langton.
Yeah.
You better be watching right now.
He's definitely watching right now.
Right. Adam Daniel Mazzei says, I'm very concerned with that cat, Lars. Adam, quit being so divisive, huh? Quit being so divisive. It's a tradition. My mother was born in New York City. The Yankees are one of the greatest baseball teams and greatest organizations of all time in sports and in everything. So you can hop on the Yankee hater bandwagon, or you can just be like, man, I recognize the excellence in that fucking all-time greatest team of all time. Did I say all time enough? Because the Yankees, and I'm saying this right now, I'm a diehard Blue Jays fan, have been all my life. Not diehard, I'm not going to die for them, but I love them. I love the Jays, and I love when they succeed. But I also am sane enough to recognize that the Toronto Blue Jays and every other organization in Major League Baseball cannot touch the Yankees. There, I said it. In your fucking face. Yankees, baby. Take that, Adam Daniel Mazzei. It's not too often I just rip on someone on the podcast, huh?
Nope.
There you go. That's my Yankees rant. Editors, cue that one up. Now I want to see what he says in the comments to that. How dare you? That's like saying, what's well,
he said it's good to see Broiler doing broiling things. So Thank you. And I'm sizzling. I'm broiling, sizzling, bacon, all of it, all of the above. Mostly bacon.
I just tore you a strip. I just tore a strip off Adam Daniel Mazzei. Usually I'm all full blown like love and positivity, but I mean when you make a ridiculous claim like, oh man, look at that Yankees hat, the greatest team of all time in all of sports. I don't know. Haters gonna hate, I guess though. Haters gonna hate. Or you could be
a true test a true test of fandom is if you're willing to stick through the hard times, Lars. So
true. Yeah.
I don't know.
True. And the Yankees is an organization who they've had plenty of hard times, yet they are still the greatest team and greatest sports organization of all time.
Same with Montreal Canadiens, really. Similar to Montreal Canadiens. My only
right. He says my only response is if it wasn't true, it wouldn't bother you. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just stating facts. Like, it doesn't bother me that you don't realize somehow that the Yankees are the greatest organization of all time in all of sports. But I thought I would give you the info. Just
now, what do you think makes them the greatest organization of all time? I feel like that's a bigger statement than saying they're the best team.
Because of the legacy, because of how long they've been around, because of basically the number of championships. I think that's the greatest organization is the one who's the best the most times. They also have,
but I mean, like a lot of those championships were won early on, right? And like there wasn't as many teams in the MLB at that point, correct?
There wasn't like in all of sports, so I don't know that that's a point that you would even take. And tons of them came in the when would it have been 2000s and teens too. So yeah, they've won the most number of World Series and the teams. The cohesiveness. Their fandom is the largest as well. There's a reason you see this logo in every city, everywhere in the world, especially in the States. And there's not too many other teams who can say that as well. Where everywhere, like nobody's fucking wearing a Milwaukee Brewers hat in San Diego. You know what I mean? But there's for sure people in San Diego wearing Yankees hats. And worldwide. But this episode is not a sports. First of all, it's not a sports podcast. Second of all, who cares?
What?
It's baseball.
What? It's not.
And
where have I been?
We might have to edit all that part. We'll maybe we have 3 separate podcasts. Maybe we have a sports podcast where me and Adam argue about baseball. There's the other thing. Iconic players. It's like half of the Hall of Fame is the Yankees. Come on. Massive celebrities. Yeah, it's also New York. So it's when your organization is in the capital of the world, and make no mistake, New York has been and may always be the capital of the world. So at least in the pop culture capital of the world, you could argue that maybe some other cities are the capital for whatever. But pop culture, it's New York, baby. Look at them all. Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter. All right. The baseball segment of this is over. Adam Daniel Mazet, thank you. And for the record, just so Adam's not too upset, right there's my Jays hat.
And I'm a dual citizen. To keep both hats on for the entirety of this podcast.
I'm a dual citizen. I might have to by citizenship. With my dual citizenship. Let me see if I can figure this out. Does that work? Or
shave the Yanks.
There we go.
And Adam says the evil empire, but I've read all of the good Yankees books. Unwritten rule, you have to shave if you're a member of the Yankees.
Yeah, that's bullshit. They cannot, like, apparently they have like no sideburns. I don't know if that's still a thing or if that was just the George Steinbrenner thing. There's some
GMs in the NHL that have that rule as well. I think there's only one that left that still does it, but it used to be a big thing.
It's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyways, everything's ridiculous.
Everything's ridiculous.
I'm a dual citizen. My mom was born in New York City. My dad was born in Canada. So legally, I have to wear the hats like this. Go Jays. Go Yankees. Who cares? It's a game. All right. Now, moving on. Who cares about anything, really? It's all a game. All of life is a game. So care enough about it, but also don't care about it at the same time. Number 5, guidepost number 5, opposites. Care a lot about everything and take everything personally. And then take nothing personally and don't care about anything. That's life, baby. That's life.
Yes.
Today's episode, we're going to get into it in a few minutes. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 5, count them 5, top 5 things that actors can be doing between auditions. Why is that important? Because sometimes you're not on set, sometimes you're not on stage, sometimes you're not rehearsing, sometimes you're not auditioning, which for a lot of actors is a lot of time. So we got to figure out how to spend our life between auditions. What are things that you can be doing as a professional to build your life, build your career when you're not actually in the process of working or being in an audition setting. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But first, we have some reviews. Where are they at?
They're right here, Lars. Our first review comes from Aaron Brooks, also known as Aaron O'Reilly.
Aaron O'Reilly says, I've gone to Laughing Vikings for a few comedic self-tapes recently, and I've had the best time and success with them. Brandon gives such thoughtful and playful direction. He's a gem, and the technical aspects of the tapes are on point. Thank you, Aaron O'Reilly. She is great. You ran those sessions, but I was here when she was coming and going, and got to have a chat with her. She got great energy, real good vibes, positive. Good sessions, fun stuff.
Oh, fantastic sessions. And I do want to give a shout out to Cheryl Poirier, who also helped run her very first session with Aaron. So congrats to Cheryl as well. A huge shout out to her. She was Aaron's first reader for her first scene here at Laughing Vikings. And Aaron is so much fun. So much fun to watch on screen, so much fun to work with. She has such a wonderful energy about her. And it's so like she says, I give thoughtful and playful directions. She comes in with such a thoughtful and playful take on the character that's so lovely to see. And like she elevates it just as much as we all did as a group together. So Aaron, oh my God, what a talent Aaron is. So shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to Aaron. We give you 5 stars right back, Aaron.
Yes, 5 stars. I think
up on her Google her 5 stars. Yeah. And speaking of Cheryl, we want to give another shout out to our most recent session directors here. We're doing a wave of expanding. So bring that banner up so that I can give them all shout outs. You mentioned Cheryl Poirier. Also, Jessie Elgood has done a bunch of shadowing, and she's now running her own sessions. Yep. She ran one the other day with Chris Robinson, one of our regulars. Sebastian Sage is coming on board. And our 3 remote virtual Zoom session directors, also Todorofians. They were all ensemble mates with me during conservatory. Shout out to Aaron Reed, Moneen Daly, and Deanna Shinsky. Get her shin in the game, Shinsky, and book them for your next self-tape session. The first 3 that I mentioned, you can book them here in our Toronto studio or via Zoom. And the last 3, they're located in New York City, New Hampshire, and San Francisco. But in a global world, they're connected to you at any time that they're available. You got to check their availability. But welcome to Cheryl, Jessie, Sebastian, Aaron, Moneen, and Deanna. And stay tuned for some potentially some more expansion as well. But we're happy to have them on board. They've already been running sessions, already getting the vibes, getting things going with actors here in the studio. And most importantly, having fun, clapping them in, clapping them out. I thought one of my favorite things to do is I just, in my head, I'm like, teach them clap them in, clap them out, and teach them the handshake. And then I've done my, as CEO, I have done my job. Let's do that. Let's teach people the handshake. Now, post-COVID, we've often been doing like the air handshake, but how it usually would go, this is the Laughing Viking handshake. It would normally go, let's get in our nice mediums here. I would normally go, we grab forearms, and then we grab forearms, so that we're kind of like over the top or holding 2 of our hands, and then we fake headbutt. I always got to remember to turn my hat on backwards. Okay, let's do it real quick now that everyone knows it. Okay, you viewers at home, everybody, this is now an interactive video podcast / exercise lesson. We're gonna do 100 Laughing Viking handshakes. Here we go. And a
Ready?
1, and a 2, and a and note the sound effects. It's the classic sound effect. I believe the official stupid sound effect is douche, douche, douche. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Everyone
try it at home.
If you really want to give it, every once in a while, if you want to give it, you can actually do real headbutts, but make sure to get consent first. It's consensual headbutts only.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our company
contracts.
Policy. Yeah. It's in our company policy is headbutts are encouraged, but they must be consensual.
Yes.
Douche.
Oh.
All right. So welcome to them. We have also got some more testimonials or reviews. Are we reviewing reviews right now? I believe we are.
We are reviewing reviews
on Google. By the way, 89 5-star reviews. 89 reviews, a 5-star rating. And I believe we have 88 5 stars, and one guy gave us 4 stars. I forget who he is. Let's find him today. He's like the Russian judge. He's like, you guys are amazing, 4 stars. Can't give you 5. But Craig Shaw, on the other hand, a local guide. He is a review aficionado. Craig Shaw knows what's going on. He's a local guide. He says 5 stars. Very interesting. You gotta go at least once. Very unique experience. And he's talking about Comedy Alley. He was here last week at our Comedy Alley show. And I like his review. It leaves them wanting more. It's like, you gotta go. He says it's interesting. So he's like, this is interesting. This is very unique. And by unique, he might be talking about the alley itself. I always feel like when people come, when they get there, they're like, where the fuck are we? And even when they leave, they're like, where were we?
Yeah.
I feel like most people the day after being at a Comedy Alley show are like, did I dream all of that?
It does feel like a dreamlike experience. I'll say that.
Yeah. That's by design as well, too.
The umbrellas.
I still want to, I always wanted to be like people leave regular society and walk through like the wardrobe into Narnia. And then they're just like, what magical land am I in? And we've talked about that. I aspire to someday get Fred Penner's log. There's the old show Fred Penner, and he used to be on a hike. Like he would go out to his fort in the wilderness somewhere, play his guitar. And the last thing he would do is crawl through this giant log, and he would come out to like his campground. So I want to get Fred Penner's log, wherever it is. If it's in a CBC museum, we got to get it here so you can crawl through Fred Penner's log, which also sounds like sexual innuendo, but it is not. We are not searching for Fred Penner's log. We are looking for Fred Penner's log. Just that experience of being somewhere like, where am I right now? It's mostly fake umbrellas. And Aubrey Harris says a unique. Notice the word unique.
I'm noticing a trend here, Lars.
A trend is that we're unique. Yes. A unique, intimate space where a range of beautifully talented performers share with the audience. Thank you, Aubrey. Another 5-star. And she was actually, I shouldn't say. I'm going to say they because I don't recall whether that's male, female, or non-binary or otherwise. So I will not assume. I will say they were at our Free Flow Showcase show a couple weeks back, which is an organization that does comedy shows, spoken word, music, poetry, super high vibe, and everyone's incredibly talented. Speaking of that, we have another Free Flow Showcase coming up Sunday, August 9th. And it's also one of the producers and hosts' birthday, Anto Chan. To know him is to love him.
Yeah.
Shout out Anto Chan and Free Flow Showcase. So grab tickets. You can find Free Flow Showcase on Instagram. And I believe you can just get a ticket through laughingvikings.com as well. October 9th. Those shows are like magical. Those Free Flow Showcase. The music, the talent is ridiculous. There's always comedians. Some people doing spoken word, doing poetry. It's like you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll feel like a better human being. You'll feel more connected to the world. You'll meet some amazing people. They're incredible. Shout out to Free Flow Showcase. All right. Those are the reviews. We're done the reviews.
Yes.
All right. And now it's down to brass tacks, baby. Down to business. We're going to talk about 5 things that actors can be doing in between auditions. So when you're not actively auditioning or on a show or on stage somewhere, what do? How do you still spend your life and work on yourself and your career? And so we put a little short list. This certainly isn't the be all and end all. Maybe you can type in the comments other things that you do or aspire to do. But number 1 is training. ABT or ABG. Always be training, always be learning. So what does that mean? Taking classes. You could be taking voice and speech classes, specific scene study classes, voiceover classes, physical classes like fight choreo or horse riding. I'm currently taking my boating safety certification so that I can operate a boat. And that's, believe it or not, to get a card to be legally able to drive a boat on real water with other boats and people. It's an online course, meaning to be licensed to drive a boat, you never have to drive a boat.
Really?
It's strictly now that might be different to own a boat. Like there may be certain, like to own one, maybe you have to get insurance, which maybe you have to take a practical course or something. That I don't know. But to get my personal watercraft safety card or something like that from the government is like 5-module course online, mostly reading, learning the right rules, regulations, safety things, best practices. And then each chapter has a quiz, and then you got to get 80% on the quiz, and you pay the fee. So yeah, wait 1 second.
Okay. You're looking for your sailor's hat?
Yeah, I was looking for my captain's hat. I don't see it.
I think it's in your suitcase.
Oh, is it? All right. Well, we'll save it. But that's one of the classes that I'm talking about right now. And so that can be something that you're officially registered in and enrolled in, or that can just be a regular habit of learning and training. Maybe you're watching videos online or listening to a favorite podcast. Any kind of learning, growth is something that you want to be doing. What are you in class for right now? You're always in class.
I am in Tom Todoroff's Saturday workshop that I do every Saturday. So that's a half hour of text analysis and reviewing the guideposts from 11 to 11:30. Then we do a voice and speech class with a different voice and speech teacher that teaches all around the world. One is Andrew Wade, who is the vocal director at the Royal Shakespeare Company. And there's plenty of others. Ann Burke, who also works at the University of California, and I believe also in Arizona as well.
Mary Lou Casado as well. She's Juilliard, who's literally the first acting class at Juilliard in New York. She's taught at, she was the head of drama at Cal Arts, and also teaches at Yale and is in faculty with Todoroff as well.
And then from 12:30 to 4 is scene study and monologue work with Tom, which is always so much fun to watch and so interesting, seeing other people grow. And it's great to see that because you learn just as much from watching them grow as you do doing it yourself, which is fantastic. And then I just finished a scene study class with Karen Ivani, which was a fantastic class. It was my first in-person class since the pandemic started. There were 6 of us. We did scene study reviews. We worked on 2 different scenes over 3 weeks, or over 6 weeks. We worked on 2 different scenes. And so we really got to dive in deep with what we were working on, which I really highly enjoy. A class I always recommend, and I think it's one of the essential classes for a Toronto actor, is Lynn Cormack's Nailing the Small Roles class. And if you haven't worked with Lynn Cormack, I highly suggest you do. She is very well trained. She's one of the best friends of Chick Reed, who is a Stratford performer. She is incredibly talented in her own right, and I do highly, highly recommend Lynn Cormack's Nailing the Small Roles class. I think it's one of the best classes I've ever taken.
Nailed it. You nailed the Nailing the Small Roles class.
Thank you.
Pearl pitch right there.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you do this? Is so you're always growing. Like, yeah, all of us want to be on set. You want to be on stage, or you want to be in the process of fighting for one of those roles via an audition. But when you can't be doing that, you want to be growing. You want to be challenging yourself, learning new skills that are then going to arm you to book future roles. So, and that's the other part of it. It's also is intrinsically rewarding as well, as like, even if that class doesn't necessarily lead directly to another acting booking, you're just going to feel better about your life, and you're going to be like, there's a correlation between growing and changing and happiness as well too. So just your daily happiness in between gigs will be higher because you're actively engaged and you're using your body and your muscles and your brain.
I also think there's a perception sometimes when actors go into classes that they're expecting to get something out of it, or like a job out of it because they're doing this class. And I think I firmly believe that actors need to lose that, to lose that mindset of I'm getting something from doing this class, and just learn what's going on in the class. Learn your technique. Focus on that first, because that will help you later on when you do get the role, rather than expecting that you're going to get a role from the class. That's not always a guarantee.
Yeah, you mean people who go into a class thinking nepotistically because they took this class and paid this money and met this person, that's going to mean that, that's silly and ridiculous. And almost in every class, it'll state that at the bottom, like that is like the purpose of this class. Like, you are not paying, especially if it's a casting director workshop, for example. It's like, you're not paying. Taking this class doesn't mean you're going to be seen, doesn't mean you're going to book a role. Like, any class that you should be taking to learn and grow and to learn new things. And you shouldn't be thinking like, oh, this because I was in this class, this person is going to give me a job.
Yeah.
But you should be thinking, if I even learn one little tool, one little technique, one little exercise, one little way of thinking, that leads you to be booking potentially, or it's just the experience of taking a class and meeting some new people too.
And I say that partially because I did that when I first started out in Toronto. I was expecting that. I was expecting someone was going to discover me when I started doing classes, and that's not the case. So take the classes for what they are, learn from them, do your absolute best. But know that, like, this is something that is going to help you down the line. I was talking about this in our scene study class yesterday. Like, this is a career, and like, you get incrementally better. Like, it's in steps. It's not a night and day process. You get a little bit better each time because you're learning different parts, and you can always be more specific with your work, as Tom likes to say.
Right. Yeah, like anything, you can always get better. It's like, there's people who are brand new getting better, and there's people who have been doing it for 40 years still feel like they're just figuring it out and just things. So always be training. And there's, like I said, there's different ways to do that. We always highly encourage an exchange of money. One of my mentors, James Wedmore, through his Business by Design program, always says the transformation begins with the transaction. There's something energetically about investing money into a program, into yourself, that helps you show up, that helps you work harder, but put more of yourself into it, versus the freebie mini class or the online free YouTube university video. That's like, that's always there, but do you really invest in it? Do you finish it? Do you pay attention? Do you actually then go implement the things? Not to mention meeting real people in real time. as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, and you do in all those classes, like you should also be thinking the relationships, which we'll talk about that in a separate thing, but there's building the relationships, not necessarily to only be like, what can I get from this relationship?
Yeah.
Are they going to help me get a role? But just the more people you know in the industry, the better. So that's training. Let us know in the comments what classes. Feel free to recommend classes, share classes, share links. Even if you're in the Facebook groups, share resources with other people. We always encourage to share things, and we're always sharing classes that we're taking as well. Number 2 is ABC, baby. You and me always be creating. In the meantime, if you're thinking of auditions as a job interview, well, you can always just be creating your own content. One of the things that I feel I've been fortunate about is in any times where I've been in a longer stretch between booking acting gigs, I've always got my own stuff where I'm always booking my own stand-up. I'm always writing stand-up, writing some sketch ideas, creating things here at Comedy Alley, and also through Laughing Vikings and Actors Audition Club. So it's for me personally, I anticipate in the future there'll be times where I'm be saying no to opportunities because it's going to take me away from things that I'm creating and working on my own projects. So you can always be doing that. You can be writing your own. What is that? Writing your own shorts, writing your own short films, writing your own feature films, writing your own sketches. If you're a stand-up performer, writing your own stand-up. You can be shooting your own proof of concept, shooting your own little demos, special skills demos. One of the things that I've been talking to Brandon about is I've got a membership at a kickboxing and boxing gym. So I'm learning some of those skills and regularly exercising there. So we're going to go there one workout and record a little sizzle reel so that if and when an opportunity comes up where my role is a boxer or needs to show some fight choreo, I've got a little reel that I can send, and a little 2-minute reel of me doing some kickboxing, boxing drills, a little sparring. So you've always got those kind of things that you can be working on. And you've been working on some stuff recently too, yeah?
I've been working with Stephen Elliott Jackson. We're going to be doing a short film of one of his scripts eventually. I'm hoping for in December. I've been wanting to move behind the camera and learn more about that aspect of things and getting something off the ground and starting something from scratch. And so Stephen presented me with a script, and so we're going to be working on that very soon. And I'm very excited to be starting to do that because I want to see it, and I want to do a film from beginning to end. I haven't done that yet, and I want to create. I want to have that feeling of knowing that I finished something or I took something from beginning to end. So that's what I'm working on now.
Love it, yeah. And I mean, for everyone in the industry, the old model in the industry, because of technology, was that there were gatekeepers. There's like whatever there was 5 or 10 studios, and they had all the equipment. So you had to work your way into that studio system and become a known entity. But now with cell phones and the internet, we have global audience. Everyone has HD technology. So you can lament not getting an email from your agent or from a casting director to give you an opportunity and sit around and be like, oh, I want to be an actor. If only I was given an opportunity. But you also live in a world where you can create your own opportunities easier and faster than ever before. So for anyone listening or watching and in that in-between time, like, work, I always think of it as like 50-50, and maybe it's even needs to sway more away from the traditional gatekeeper way of creating work and getting work. But if the 50-50 is, okay, I'm going to play the old school game of I need an agent and a casting director needs to post a thing and the agent sees the breakdown, says it to me, and then I submit to it and maybe they book me for the role, or write your own things, shoot your own things, create your own things, and figure out of one of the thousands of ways to monetize things. Whether that's just social media or whether that's taking a traditional distribution for film and TV. Just don't sit around being like, oh, I'm an actor and I want to be an actor, but what do I do? be doing all of those things. And the great thing about when you're doing both of those things is you toggle between them. You get weeks where you're slammed, where you got like 5 auditions and you're just immersed in characters and opportunities for traditional TV and film things. And then in a week where it's slower, or you have a couple weeks where it's slower through your agent, then you flip back into your own creation mode, working on your own web series, working on your own shorts, whatever it may be, but always having that creative outlet. I think that's a challenge for people. Is for most people, the reason you got into this is because you want to create and you have those creative juices, and that's a beautiful thing. But then you get into it, and then somehow you let the world tell you that, oh, you can only create when we say so, when we give you an opportunity to work on here, when we give you money to work on our project. And then everyone sits on their hands being like, I just want to express myself. So the bottom line is, whether that's social media videos or a blog, vlog, shorts, sketches, like just whatever it is, just figure out a way to express yourself and create. You are a creator. You're creating your own life. You're creating your own stories, your own career. So just go create, and don't wait for gatekeepers.
No. Adam Daniel Mazzei had a really good thing. You and your agent are in an 85-15 relationship. You're 85% responsible, and your agent is 15% responsible.
Right.
And that's what you were saying before.
Yeah, versus being the type of person where you're like, what? Like, you sometimes meet actors and they're lamenting and being a little cynical or just burnt out on like, I'm not getting anything. I haven't heard. It's been so many weeks, and it's like, okay, well, what else are you doing? You know, Are you going to complain about the things that aren't happening, or are you creating things on your own? Number 3 is in 5 things to do between auditions. Number 3, marketing. So you can always, if this is show business, half of it is creation and creative endeavors, but then there's also a business side. So in the downtime, are you updating your headshots, updating your resume, updating your demo reels, updating your personal website, updating your casting website profiles? If you're taking all these classes, making sure that those classes are making your resume and making your profiles. And I think that's something that everyone does. Not everyone, but a lot of people do not enough. Like if they do it once a year instead of once a quarter or even once a month, just updating those things. And especially being a little extra creative with things like skill-specific demo reels and making little clips. So whatever your sports are, you're a downhill skier, you're a snowboarder, you're a skateboarder, you play hockey, like literally all your special skills on your resume, have a quick little 60-second demo of you doing that. That'll help you book commercials where they need it, feature films, TV roles. That stuff comes up all the time. And when they ask for a demo reel, they're going to favor someone if they know like you got to be some kind of trickster stunt skateboarder, and they have someone where they see it in video and someone who says, yeah, I'm a decent skateboarder. Who are they going to give it to? You know, they can't book you and then on the day realize, oh shit, this guy can't actually skateboard.
Yeah.
So like for me, I should have a baseball, volleyball, the boxing, kickboxing reel, some fight choreo, that sort of thing, so that you have those locked and loaded. Just those are like tools in your tool belt, or just things that you can then bring out. And it's crazy how, and I've seen this happen a bunch of times, but it's crazy how when you actually do this, it's like when you create the conditions needed to have something new in your life, magically that new situation appears, and that situation won't appear. It's like if you're looking to book a job internationally, if in your head you're like, oh, I would love to be working overseas, but you don't have a valid passport, you've created a universe and a situation where you can't possibly book an overseas gig right now. Like the chances of you doing that just energetically, because of the universe, if you believe in that kind of things, manifestation and energy, if you don't have the means, aka a passport, to travel, how's that opportunity going to fall your way? So what you want to do is create all the things that are under your control to create that scenario, move you closer to that dream scenario. Do all of those things so that then you're only one audition or one conversation from a guy being like, yeah, we want to book you to this thing. We need you in Mexico in 2 weeks. And then boom, all of a sudden you're there. Do you have a passport? Yep. Instead of, no, I don't. Oh shit, there's a 6-week delay for a passport. Can't get it. Sorry, we got to book the next person. A lot of people, I think, you're like waiting for the thing to happen before you do the things to prepare you to receive that thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So just like do it all up front so that the second you get the nod or the tap on the shoulder, you're like, yep, totally ready for that. Here's all my stuff. Where do you need me? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're the guy that's snagging all these amazing opportunities. What have you done recently marketing wise? I know you're always up to date on this stuff.
I am up to date. I need to do more. This is probably something I have been lacking in the last little while. There are things that my agents and I discussed, and I haven't really fulfilled my end of things. So I need to get on this more. I need to update my demo. So let me say right now, this is my moment.
Yes.
I am going to complete a new demo. I am going to record a commercial demo for voiceover because I have not done that yet, and I still need to do that.
Right.
And it's been limiting me on the roles that I get and the things that I am being able to be submitted for.
And voiceover is something that you really want to do, and that also that you're really good at too. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the same boat. I need to do a new voiceover reel, so we can hold each other accountable for that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's like just imagine a world where you were going all out and you had everything that you needed, or you flash forward. It's almost like you've heard the term begin with the end in mind, or we talked about it last week, operating from your best self. Flash forward mm-hmm. and be like, at top level, what are all the things that I want to have and be and do, and then just work backwards and really start doing all of those right now as much as you can that's under your control. Yeah. And then you'll live into that scenario by just making it happen. Mm-hmm. So voiceover, new demo reel. By the way, everyone on the call or listening, if you need help with a demo reel, Adam Barnicki from Wicked Tree Creative, he did mine. He's a film and TV director and camera director and DOP. And he does great demo reels, and we have a relationship with him. If you go to laughingvikings.com, I believe it's just /demo reels. Let's try that right now.
Yeah.
He's offered Laughing Vikings and Actors Audition Club members a discount off his demo reel package, where you'll save $150 off his demo reel package.
Yeah, that's active. Yeah.
laughingvikings.com/demo reels. I think his rate is you have to check with his rates. His rates may have changed a little bit, but
yeah,
whatever his package rate is for demo reels, where he'll cut it together real nice and throw some music in it. And the things that he's great at is, because he is a film director and a storyteller and he's done documentaries, is he'll know how to put scenes together and make the transitions really cool so that the demo itself has a little bit of a narrative and the demo has some architecture. Mm-hmm. And the other cool thing about his service, and the reason that I had him do mine, is within the following year, when he does your demo reel for you, when you get new footage, he'll swap it in and update your demo reel at no extra charge. So you won't make a new demo, but he'll take out some old footage, put in the new scene, or just snip in the new scene if you just have a small short reel. And normally he'd make those around 2 minutes, like 90 seconds to 2 minutes, maybe mm-hmm. 2:30, but probably 2 minutes is around as long as you'd want those. But check out laughingvikings.com/demo reels. And that will give you access to a discount code, and you can reach out to Adam at Wicked Tree, and you can commit to up-leveling your demo reel. Mm-hmm. And the only other thing I'll say about marketing is just social media too. Is are you actively sharing what you're into? Some behind the scenes, like it's really easy. I know it can get time consuming, but if you're thinking of documenting versus creating, just to be like, here I am at this event. Here, mm-hmm. This is the new book I'm reading. This is me in studio doing an audition. Like just little things like that. Just sharing that you're actively engaged and actively in the business. If you're going to a screening with a Q&A or a panel, or you are in classes, sharing some of that, and then just in the general social media zeitgeist, people will see what you're up to and share what you're up to. If you're short film is screening, or you won a little award, actively share that, and like without being braggadocious per se, just like share it, let people know. Don't be bashful at that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 4.
Number 4.
5 things to do between auditions. Number 4, networking. And that's just developing relationships. I think networking for some people is a big scary word, and can bring up memories or feelings of being at awfully uncomfortable networking events. But it's building relationships. Obviously work on your craft and work on your skill. But when you're at those classes, for example, meet other actors, meet the instructor, when you're on set, meet everyone, and do your best to develop relationships with them, because you never know what relationships will flourish, and obviously just the general good karma of treating people nice without again, you don't always going to be not necessarily encouraging like make sure to get the most out of every relationship. It's like, yeah, but not in a transactional way, in an actual transformational way. You want to have a group of people that are friends. And when you like, it's the best thing when you show up on set and you recognize a few people, like, the sound guy, one of the ADs, a couple of the other actors, and you start to feel like family, and you start to feel that nostalgic feeling of like movie camp, versus when you walk onto a giant set and everyone's a stranger and you never met everyone. That's a little, this is like pretty intense. But it's great to meet people. So also casting directors, there's a way to reach out as regular human beings to other casting directors, directors, producers. One of my favorite things online is just tagging people when I see other opportunities that fit them, whether they're actors or crew. If I see someone looking for a makeup artist or a hair and makeup artist, I'll tag my hair and makeup artist friends. Same thing with actor breakdowns as well. So it's just like staying active in a community, and building those relationships, going out for lunch with people, going out for dinner with people, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Sharing resources, sharing tools with them.
Oh yeah.
It's I mean, this is as Tom always says, it is about what you know first to develop the craft and the skill and the necessary requirements of being an actor on stage or on set. But then second to that, it is who you know. It's like people want to work with people that they like. People work with their friends. So if you have a lot of friends in the industry that recognize your work and you are a good human being around them, then chances are that you're going to continue to work with them and have more opportunities. Mm-hmm. Versus if you're just a lone wolf, solo hermit, and you never meet new people.
Yeah, you always should be meeting new people, developing new relationships, and then strengthening the relationships that you already have.
True, that's a good one too. Yeah, go through your
because sometimes I think we forget just to check in sometimes and say how are you, what's going on, and like that can I don't want to say lose us some opportunities, but like it gets you forgotten sometimes if you don't check in, and you should check in with your friends.
Yeah, with friends, even with other industry people, like that's fair game. And to casting directors who know you, to reach out and be like, hey, just a heads up, I'm in this show, just took this class. Here's a couple tickets to this showcase, like any of that kind of stuff, in a polite, well thought out way.
Yes,
keep people in the loop. Even if that's just like lunches, the odd lunch with an actor friend, you want to be wary of who you're hanging around with. There's two kinds of actors. I think there's some that are very cynical, and you don't want to just go out for lunch with someone and both of you just moan and groan and have a big pity party,
complaining the whole time.
Complaining, and that does happen a lot, and that's really easy to do it. Actors are not. It's just easy to do that in life. Is one person starts talking about their woes, and the other person are mirror neurons as humans, and to be empathetic are like, oh yeah, you got problems. Let me tell you about my problems. But meet new people, be networking, be building relationships. And again, I've had like a great example is a role in a feature film that when it started was a smaller role, and then as we shot expanded to really it's like one of the leading roles in the film. The reason I met the director and was cast in it was one of the producers was an actor that I acted in a student film many years before with him, and we just stayed friends. And that's Brian Quintero, and the film is We Came to Wreck Everything, and the director is Alex Caju. And I didn't know when I did that student film with him that years later, that just that personal connection with no audition. I was just directly cast on it. I had a meeting with the director. He showed me the script, talked about the character, told me about the commitments and that kind of thing. And then the actual role throughout principal shooting grew and grew and grew. I'd end up with like an extra line here, an extra line there, or just an extra little thing to do just for because I was there. And then after they did reshoots, I ended up getting more scenes and more lines in the reshoots. So at the time when I shot that, it was actually the most screen time that I had ever had in a professional feature film. And the only reason I was there is because I knew a guy who I was in a short film for a student film unpaid many years before. So you never know. And then also that goes like treat assistants very well too, like casting assistants, production assistants, because
treat everyone well.
Right. Yeah. Everyone well. But the what people who, first, I don't know why they do this, but they just don't get it, I guess, is they only treat the manager or the bigwig well, and they don't treat underlings as well. And then those people get promoted. So then all of a sudden the casting assistant is a casting director, and they're like, oh, well, I remember when you used to be a real dick to me when I was just a lowly casting assistant. But everyone's human and everyone has value, and regardless of their position, treat people like a good human being. You know, that should be rule numero uno. All right, number 5. Number 5 things to do between auditions is living. Mostly just live your life and never get down. Like, it's funny, and we all do this. I've done this, where you put so much weight on acting jobs and climbing the ladder and growing your career and getting the next biggest thing that you can sometimes forget to be grateful and have gratitude of just your everyday life. And also the mindset of striving to make your life the real lead character and lead role and dream role that you want to have in your life, instead of being like, oh, I'm really only ever on when someone gives me an opportunity. And when I'm not on stage or not on set, everything sucks and my life sucks and it's boring. Like, it'd be a terrible way to live. But I think it's not a far stretch to say that there are a lot of people doing that, where things are only good based on their last booking or latest booking, or how much money it paid, or the reviews that it got, or the crowd response that night. And then there's like 24 hours in a day, and there's plenty of times when you're not on set or on stage. So what is the rest of your life? Do you have your extracurricular activities? Are you learning and growing? Are you taking care of your body with exercise? Are you traveling? Are you literally just smelling the roses, like just actually enjoying like daily little moments of gratitude, where you're just like, you go for a walk on the beach, or you go for a stroll in the forest, and you're like recognizing the beauty in that moment, rather than stressing like, oh my God, where's the next thing? Got to get the next thing. Got to get the next booking, next audition. And realizing that just be grateful for everything that you have in your life right now, and enjoy every moment more, rather than thinking like it's challenging for everyone to do that, where you're always like, what's next? Like, even when you book things, you book something, you haven't even shot it yet, and there's a trap to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna shoot that, and then when I get the demo reel for that, that's gonna lead me to this, and you're like already creating this whole future thing. And then the danger is you spend all your time future planning, which is great, but then you lose actually now, like the time when you're not shooting, and when you're in between, you're just kind of doing nothing and not living a life. And Tom always mentions to be an actor is to be a professional human being. So the more you live and the more you experience and the more you enjoy your life, the more you're going to be able to transfer that into great performances on screen and on stage, because you're a fully fleshed out human being, not just someone who's super fucked up when they're not working, and when they're working on stage, they're in their spot of joy and in their happy place. But then when they're not there, they're just an emotional wreck or neurotic or whatever it might be.
Well said. I like it.
Yeah. What do you do to live? What's your living?
I play board games. I play computer games. I play games. I play games to have fun.
Yeah,
games are fun.
Games are good, and fun is fun. Yep. And really, life is all a game too. I think that's a good strategy. People who see, not saying that it's not serious and there's not dire circumstances in real life things, but I think having an attitude to a certain degree that life is a game, it helps. Certainly makes it more fun.
Oh, 100%. And like I after my session today, I'm going to be play testing some new board games. So I'm very excited for that. And like my friend Chris George has a board game channel on YouTube. Check out Room and Board if you're into board games. And like I love living in that world. I like it's a good way to take your mind off things. Like my roommate Zach and I are going through a game called Aeon's End Legacy, which is a deck building card game, which is so much fun. This is our second legacy version of this game. And if you don't know what legacy is, it's basically a storyline that you're traveling through. And you play as different characters each time, but like they're all part of the same story that's going on. And so you're working your way to the end. And Zach and I have done several legacy games at this point, and we just enjoy playing them. And we do try and keep it to as minimum amount of people as possible, because especially when you're doing a legacy game, it's good to have the same group of people from beginning to end. But yeah, like we do that a lot, and I absolutely love them and that group. And so yeah, I also play D&D.
Right.
Sometimes as well.
Yeah, I mean, and if you
game and improv practice, so
if you need, I was just going to say, if you need a correlation between playing games, is like there's always an improvisation. There's a ton of imagination. Mm-hmm. There's often storytelling in that kind of thing. Or when you're playing a game, there's a certain sense of like you are the character, or you're playing that, like even if it's just a piece on that you're moving around a thing, that you're that guy or that knight or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that also, which also informs and can help your playfulness and your storytelling on stage and on screen too. So it's all applicable. But fun is fun. Isn't fun fun?
Fun is fun.
I've never been having fun and thought to myself, oh, this isn't fun. It's always fun. Fun's always fun. Fun's one of the most fun things. This is fun.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this. This is fun. Fun is fun.
Fun is fun. All right. I think. Well, did we? Was what were you going to say? You're going to add something.
I also follow a manga that I read every week. It's called One Piece. It's the longest running anime and manga in history. It's about pirates, and I absolutely love it. And it's one of my favorite things that I look forward to Friday every week, because I get to read a 20-page chapter of the new pirates that are going on. It's great. I love it.
Brandon's key to success is to remain doing all the same.
Remain a child.
That a 14-year-old boy did. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Peter Pan growing up. That was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. If you were to compare Brandon's daily agenda to the daily agenda of a 14-year-old boy, it would be essentially the same.
More or less, yeah. Stay up till 2 on computer games and editing, and then you're
watch some manga, listen to a podcast, play some D&D. Yes. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. It was a great episode. Quick review: 5 things to do in between auditions. Number 1 was training. Mm-hmm. Number 2 was creating. Number 3 was marketing. Number 4 was networking. And number 5 was living. So just make sure that you're enjoying your life in between auditions as well. We always talk about auditions. It's obviously a great way to get a job is to be auditioning, but also you want to be living your life too. Shout out to all of our new session directors. For those of you who need help with an audition, you can go to laughingvikings.com and you can book an in-studio Zoom or an in-studio audition session where we'll help you read, shoot, and direct and edit your self-tape. And you can also join the wait list for Actors Audition Club. If you go to laughingvikings.com/join, we got a banner for that. Yeah. Pop that up. Enrollment is currently closed, but you can join the wait list and you'll be first notified when we do open the doors to Actors Audition Club right at laughingvikings.com/join. And what do? We help actors shoot professional auditions without tech troubles, without stress, anxiety, without having to bug your family and friends, so that you as the actor, you can just focus on your craft and your performance and ultimately book more roles in TV, film, and theater and have some fun doing it. So you can join that wait list. Make sure to smash all the buttons to subscribe. You guys know the things, but I think we're supposed to say it every week. In my head, I'm like, how many shout outs and calls to actions do we need to do? We wouldn't need to do them at all if you guys just did all the things. So do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, rate. You can also join our Audition Hero workshop, and you can discover how one actor went from stressful DIY self-tapes to booking a role on Hollywood blockbuster, plus 2 series leads in 12 months. We did a 3-part training workshop. If you missed the live workshop, you can still opt in and get access to it instantly at laughingvikings.com/auditionhero. You go there right now and register for free. Someday we're going to charge at least $97 for that, but right now we're going to give it away for free. Even though I believe the transformation starts with the transaction. If you paid for it, you'd learn more and become more of an audition hero. But for now, you can grab it for free. Go to laughingvikings.com/auditionhero. And a little sneak peek over the next coming weeks, we're going to do a podcast series of episodes featuring our new session directors. Next week, we've got Moneen Daly. The week after that, I believe we've got Aaron Reed. And so you're going to get a chance to meet all of our new session directors here at Actors Audition Club. We're going to learn about their origin stories, how they got started, how they trained, their philosophies in auditioning and in acting, and also their future aspirations and current projects that they're working on. So it'll probably be the next 5 or 6 weeks, you're going to meet some new people here at Actors Audition Club. So we're super excited to have them on. And until now, go subscribe and listen to all 104 episodes before this one. Oh, you got a quote?
Oh, I do have a quote.
Yeah. We'll leave you with a quote to inspire your week.
This quote comes from one of the greatest hosts of all time, Steve Harvey. And he says, if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. Don't dream small. Go as big as you can. And as Tom always likes to say, if you go big, they can pull you back.
Right.
But you know what? It's always better to go for it.
Dream big, play big, and be careful who you share those big dreams with, like Steve Harvey said, because sometimes people will love to shoot that down and no, you can't do it. Who do you think you are? So get around people who have like bigger dreams than you, and you're like, wow, that guy is really thinking big.
Yes.
And do it yourself. Play big, dream big. And smash that like button.
Smash that like button and subscribe.
Smash the subscribe. And fun fact, bonus points, if you ever see us in person, whip out that Viking handshake and maybe we'll give you a prize.
We'll be ready.
Or you can remix. Show us. Let's do that. We'll do a little contest to win something. A prize to be named later is tag us on social media, maybe on Instagram stories, of you doing a Viking handshake. And remember, it's forearm, douche. Yeah, one more. Let's close it out.
All right.
Ready?
Okay.
Get those arms right up. Okay, ready? And oh, hey, Brandon.
Oh, hey.
This has been episode 105.
Goodbye.